So what would people say about you in the streets? Like when they do say your name or somebody hears your name, what are some things I would hear?
Real talk though, it's crazy because you might hear two main things that you're gonna hear. Either you're gonna hear, that nigga get out, he do his thing with the music, he rap, this and that. Or you're gonna hear about my street level life that I actually live, and that's never be undeniable. And always gonna be mentioning the streets of Decatur, period. About me going to prison and what happened during the time before I went to prison. So
How long were you locked up for?
10 years.
On what?
Straight up. Murder.
You're busting your fist against a stone wall. You're not using your brain. That's what the white man wants you to do. Look at you. What makes you ashamed of being black?
Straight murder charge. I went to prison when I was 17 years old.
Released at 28, 27?
27. I think that was one of my greatest moments in life, period. Because most of my moments before them were so dark because so much didn't have happened. But when I got out, I think it was my family to embrace the good side of me, because I was afraid of all of that when I got out. Like, after what had happened, me being so young and not knowing. And, I'm still looking at life out of 17-year-old eyes, and I had to grow in prison with that mindset. And, growing, so getting out, you kind of afraid on how people are looking at you. Mm-hmm. To get out and see the people look at me as something beautiful still, that felt so good. And, but I think it was like the next year or so when I started really getting in music though. Like, 'cause the first year you trying to stay out, you trying to get a job, you trying to do that.
What artists are you listening to now? Like who would be in your CD player right now or your iPod?
Now, I could say, as far as the top artists that I appreciate listening to on a regular basis, I think Drake would be the top artist. But I listen to various artists right now, like some T.I. stuff that he been featuring on lately. 2 Chainz, I get into Titty Boy. I can't say too many artists, man, because a lot of these cats I can't get into.
So what's separating the music you bring from the music you don't?
One reason being, I think because I study the game, and a lot of times I study a lot of artists, top artists, and I guess I'm technical with it because of their music not matching their lifestyles or how they was groomed and raised. It makes me fall back a little bit on listening to the music. Mm-hmm. And you got almost half, if not more than that, of the artists, their lifestyle not matching their music.
All right, well, let's talk about talents. What are your talents? You not only rap, but you also produce?
Yeah. I started producing first. Mm-hmm. I was a producer before I was a rapper.
Tell me about that transition.
I think I really got into it, like when I grew up, my father got me into producing because he plays the synthesizer, which is keyboard, and he do that well. Mm-hmm. So he used to always want us to mimic him and watch him. So I started doing that myself. So I started producing. Once I got a beat machine and a little keyboard, I was producing my own beats. I think it was when I got into the art form of writing is when I went to prison. And that was away from the music, away from doing music. And then I was able to sit down and kind of start getting into the craft of writing our lyrics. So that transition, it's like producing, and that transition is not too much of a gap if you're a real true artist. Mm-hmm. Most real good musicians or real good artists, somewhere down the line they can play some kind of instrument.
But it's your project. You're treating it out like an album.
Right, and the reason being is because, for one, this is, and I don't know if I'll be able to do this again. I can't say on God knows, but this is the time where I put in the most of my effort, the most of my life, and my heart and my soul, and how I see how I think music should be done now. So I'm giving a whole lot of that.
Tell me more about who your strength was. Who inspired you to actually do music? Like you said, you were looking for a job.
Right.
What moment made you be like, okay,
let me share
I'm
this
gonna do
with you because
music
it's going to be great for you. So hopefully, if God wills that, it will be great that you have this. But anyway, This car pulled up next to me on the bus, right? This cat on 24s or whatever he was on. He was riding big, man. And he just beating and I'm sitting on the bus looking like some miserable duck, right? And I'm looking at this guy. And he just looks so into this music, like he just inspired. And I'm like, well, he doing good, and whatever he be listening to must be inspiring him, right? Mm. And I picture it being me. And it was then that I knew then.
Every nigga that done been through hard shit, man, hard shit, man, hard shit, man, hard shit. Seen mamas die, baby mamas, flip the script on a nigga, can't see your motherfucking kids, go down the road, motherfuckers forget about you. I'm the voice for those niggas, man, I got you. She said, man, don't cry, it'll be over in the morning.